Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, one vision.
Our sources explain it all. For more information on upcoming shows or to suggest shows, email brianhayward2026@gmail.com. And now let's get into our show. Hayward Podworks is vision, deep dives into any topic.
Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we have the blueprint for what our sources are calling supercharged productivity.
Right. And this isn't about, finding a new app.
No, not at all. We are delivering a complete roadmap, and it's all distilled from research and the actual working habits of some top-tier CEOs.
Our whole mission today is to cut through the noise
and challenge your basic assumptions about getting things done. We want to give you a foundation for being, relentlessly effective.
And we should probably start right there with a simple definition. Productivity is really just how much you can get done in a set period of time.
Simple enough.
Yeah, and your organization, everyone you know is constantly trying to boost this number. And for good reason. Higher productivity is the best way to stop wasting effort, time, and money.
It helps you move toward your biggest goals faster. But the very first insight that really jumped out at me was this idea that time management it's just flawed.
It's completely flawed. It's a misnomer, really.
Yeah.
The research is pretty clear that time itself can't be managed or influenced. I mean, you get 24 hours. I get 24 hours. The CEO of the largest company on earth gets 24 hours. It's constant. Yeah. And once a minute is gone, it is gone for good.
So if we can't manage the clock, what are we actually managing?
You're managing yourself. The whole concept is really self-management. It's about controlling you and your choices within the time you have.
Okay, so it's more like self-discipline.
Exactly. Self-discipline, task management. It's about managing expectations from other people, setting boundaries to, control all those interruptions. And most importantly, it's about making conscious, sometimes ruthless choices about your priorities.
Getting rid of the unimportant stuff that just eats up the day.
That's it.
And speaking of things that eat up the day, I was really shocked by the data on multitasking. We all think we're being so effective when we're juggling 2-3 things at once.
But the analysis calls it a productivity disaster.
So why don't we see it? Why does it feel so productive?
Because activity feels like progress. But multitasking, it just destroys your productivity. You end up making more mistakes, which means you have to do rework, and that just eats up even more time.
So the key is just focusing on one thing at a time.
Unrelenting focus on one task. And also finding a system that actually works for you. The research is very clear. There is no one-size-fits-all method.
That idea of focus is a great pivot to the next big distinction in the source material, which is the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. Mm-hmm. They sound so similar, and I think that causes a lot of confusion.
It causes massive confusion. They operate on totally different levels. So effectiveness is all about doing the right things.
The right things.
Yeah. It's focused on results. It's making sure that every single task you do actually aligns with your main goals, your core purpose. If your goal is to increase sales, effectiveness means you're working on marketing and ads.
And efficiency is the other side of that coin.
Right. Efficiency is about doing things right. It's task-oriented. It's about how can I do this specific thing with the least amount of resources in the shortest time.
So like using a new software to cut down on manual data entry.
That's a perfect example. That's efficiency.
So you end up with 4 possibilities, right? Effective and efficient, which is the holy grail. Or you could be effective but inefficient. Or ineffective but really efficient.
Or the worst of all, ineffective and inefficient. But the sources are absolutely clear on the hierarchy here. Effectiveness always comes before efficiency.
Doing the right thing slowly is better than doing the wrong thing quickly.
Exactly. Efficiency is just a modifier. It's not a substitute. If the task you're doing doesn't get you closer to your main purpose, Being super efficient at it is, well, it's completely meaningless.
That seems so logical, but the analysis points out this really interesting barrier. It says most people gravitate towards easier efficiency fixes. Organizing their inbox, cleaning their desk.
Because it's easy. It feels like progress.
Right, while working on effectiveness requires that bigger, more intimidating work of brainstorming your core values and long-term goals. It's harder. It's
much harder. And to get there, you need a roadmap. Think of success like a long journey. You need a destination. That's your vision. And you need a map to get there. Those are your goals.
So what does a clear vision actually look like? Not just some vague dream?
They're very concrete statements. Something like, to be financially free by age 30 so I can do philanthropic work. Or maybe to work only 30 hours a week to dedicate more time to my family and my health. It's a filter for every decision you make.
Okay, so the vision is the what, and the goals are the how.
They're these specific, quantifiable targets, the milestones that turn that big vision into a reality. And to do that right, the research points to the SMARTER approach.
We've all heard of SMART goals, but tell us about this framework.
So SMART is the classic. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That means having a real deadline, not just sometime in the next 5 years.
But the sources say the ER part is the real game changer here.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
E stands for evaluate. You have to periodically check in on your goals to make sure they still fit your life, your situation. And R stands for revise. You have to be brave enough to adjust or even completely throw out a goal if it's no longer relevant.
The real skill isn't setting the goal, it's being willing to tear it up when things change.
That's the advanced move.
Okay, so we have the map, we have the destination, but the car doesn't drive itself. The sources are very clear that planning without execution is it's just a hobby.
It's intellectual entertainment. Yeah. The truth is, a strong desire without unrelenting work just fails. You have to translate that vision into action. And this is where the sources bring up the law of diminishing intent.
What's that?
It says that if you don't act on an idea or an emotion when it's strong, that desire just fades over time. Success means you have to capture that urgency and turn it into disciplined action right now.
That urgency is key. But if you're going to put in that kind of effort, you need fuel. So let's shift to energy. Successful people list it as their main driver.
And energy is simply the capacity to work. The analysis breaks it down into 4 critical sources: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual.
Let's start with the physical.
Right. Your body is your engine. Poor nutrition, not enough sleep, no rest, it all drains your capacity. There's a great case study of a former VP, Gary Farrow. He was overweight, overworked, but he started doing cardio, strength training, sleeping regularly, and this is critical. Eating small meals every 3 hours to stabilize his glucose.
And the results.
His energy went through the roof, and he lost 50 pounds.
It's also about listening to your body's natural signals, right? We all try to just push through fatigue.
We do. But the research points to our ultradian rhythms. These are 90 to 120-minute cycles where our body naturally needs a recovery break. That's when you start yawning or feel restless, or you just can't focus anymore.
Okay, next up is emotional energy.
This is huge. Positive emotions lead to the best performance. But the stress of modern work triggers that fight or flight response, which creates draining emotions like anxiety and impatience.
Is there a quick fix for that? A ritual?
A simple one is to just buy time. Before you react to something stressful, take 10 seconds for deep abdominal breaths. It helps diffuse that immediate stress response.
And what about building positive emotional energy?
2 things. First, express specific, detailed appreciation to other people. It builds positive energy for them and for you. Second, you have to change the stories you tell yourself. Use the 3 lenses. The reverse lens was the other person's perspective. The long lens, how will this matter in the future? And the wide lens, what can I learn from this?
That leads us to the mind. This is where we pay for fragmentation.
This is where that switching cost lives.
Yeah.
Just that temporary shift in attention from one task to another, it's devastating for focus.
How devastating.
It can increase the time needed to finish a task by as much as 25%.
Wow. 25%.
Yeah. So the ritual here is what they call ultradian sprints. Go all in, full focus for 90 to 120 minutes and then take a real break, not just checking your phone.
And you have to set up boundaries to make that happen.
You have to. Physical boundaries, like moving to an empty conference room to focus, or virtual ones, like only checking email at specific times instead of reacting to every notification.
The advice is really clear here. Figure out your most important task and do it first thing in the morning before the day's chaos hits.
And finally, there's spiritual energy. This is highest when your daily work actually aligns with your core values and your sense of purpose.
When the work actually matters to you.
Exactly. When it matters, your focus and your perseverance are almost limitless. The priorities here are threefold. 1, do what you're best at and enjoy most. 2, consciously block out time for all the important parts of your life, family, health, service. And 3, live your core values every day.
Okay, so we have the fuel and the map. Let's get into the application. Specific productivity hacks from world-class CEOs.
This is where we see it all in action. It starts with managing complexity. Jack Dorsey, who was famously CEO of both Square and Twitter.
At the same time.
He used theme days. So Mondays were for management, Tuesdays for product. It allowed him to quickly refocus after all the interruptions.
And then you have Dustin Moskovitz, the Facebook co-founder, with his no meeting Wednesdays.
Right, just a whole day for focused, heads down work. Other leaders set hard limits. Carlos Ghosn, the former Nissan CEO, limited most non-operational meetings to just 1.5 hours, max.
Sheryl Sandberg has a system for email.
Yeah, she responds to every work email, but keeps them incredibly brief. She prefers a quick, incomplete answer rather than wait and become a bottleneck.
And, of course, Bill Gates.
You have to mention Bill Gates and his concept of deep work. He would block out huge chunks of time for his most challenging tasks with 0 distractions. No stopping. That protection of focus time is everything. Gary Keller, the real estate mogul, blocks out the first few hours of every day for his #1 priority for the entire year.
Because, as he says, success is built sequentially.
Precisely.
What about that daily avalanche of email? Elliot Weissbluth has a system for inbox 0.
It's very simple. Rule 1, unsubscribe from anything that's not essential. Rule 2, when in doubt, delete it. If it's really important, they'll follow up. And rule 3, don't file anything, just use search. It keeps your actual to-do list tiny, like 2 to 5 items.
Now, for high-level strategy, there's Jeff Bezos' 4-step process for streamlining decisions. This is all about speed.
It's crucial. First, he says, one size fits all is a mistake. Decisions that are easily reversible, what he calls two-way doors, should use a super lightweight process.
Don't overthink them.
Exactly. Second, make the call when you have about 70% of the information you wish you had. Waiting for 90% is just being slow.
That 70% rule is fascinating. It's a calculated risk for momentum. What are the other 2 steps?
Third is disagree and commit. Basically, even if you don't fully agree with the decision, you commit to it 100% to save time and move forward. And fourth, you have to address real misalignments early on. If 2 teams have fundamentally different goals, no amount of meetings will fix that. It needs to be escalated.
But it's a system for an entire organization. But let's bring it back to the individual. How can we personally amplify our reach with leverage? The one-person army, idea.
Leverage is all about multiplying your effort without working harder. There are 3 key ways. First is duplicating. Instead of always inventing something new, just improve what already works.
The second is technology.
Right. Automate all the redundant tasks. Email templates, autoresponders, things like that. Let automation handle the low-value stuff so you can focus on high-value work like marketing and scaling.
And the third is outsourcing.
Yep. Hiring global freelancers on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork. It reduces the need for costly full-time staff and office space. It's basically the Uber model applied to any task.
Okay, let's wrap up with a few specific, actionable methods for achieving FOCUS follow one's cause until successful.
Planning ahead is just not negotiable. And interestingly, the research specifically suggests using a traditional paper planner.
A paper planner, really?
Yeah. It's visual, it's hands-on, and it never runs out of batteries. It gives you that clear monthly, weekly, and daily view of your purpose.
And for day-to-day work, there's the Ivy Lee method.
Incredibly simple. At the end of each day, write down the 6 most important tasks for tomorrow. Prioritize them. Then the next day, you start with number 1, and you don't move on until it's finished. That's it.
And for the work sprint itself, the Pomodoro technique.
A classic. 25 minutes of intense focus, followed by a 5-minute break. Repeat. It trains your brain, and it stops you from burning out.
There are also biological hacks we can use.
Absolutely. For diet, you want to maintain steady glucose levels to avoid those energy crashes. That means a low glycemic diet. Leafy greens, nuts, beans, whole grains, lean proteins.
And finally, meditation.
It works. Even just 5 to 20 minutes a day can boost your attention span and focus in as little as 4 days. It's best to do it first thing before the notifications start rolling in.
So there you have it. The complete blueprint for supercharged productivity pulled straight from the sources. We've covered everything from high-level vision down to the tactics of top executives. But remember, none of this knowledge matters if you don't take immediate action.
That's right. Momentum is the real test. And as you think about how to start, how to create that distraction-free space to focus on your one big thing, consider this one final data point from Carnegie Mellon University. It can take up to 25 minutes just to regain your focus after being distracted.
25 minutes?
Every single time your phone or notification pulls your attention away, that is 25 minutes just gone. Silently stolen from your effectiveness. The real key to supercharged productivity might not be adding something new. It might just be embracing silence.
Hayward Podworks. 100 shows, 1 vision.
All right, this is Hayward Podworks, and that's today's episode. If this helped you, do me a favor, hit follow, leave a quick rating, and share it with one person who'd get value. Want the extras, links, and new drops? Check the show notes. Until next time, stay sharp, stay consistent, and keep building. Hayward Podworks. We'll talk soon.